Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason we started pasteurizing it. Very delicate ecosystem.
Good morning. Good morning. What a lovely morning. My name is Kathy Webster, and I am serving this year as president of the congregation. I am a white woman in her late 50s with dark brown hair and the lady doesn't disclose her age. All right, so anyway, that's sort of I'm an early Gen Xer. Can I say that? Is that permissible? And I am wearing today a tan plaid vest and pants. And I use she, her pronouns all the time. And I am truly delighted to welcome you this morning to First Unitarian Church, where our mission is to explore the eternal, nurture community, and pursue the common good. We welcome you today in your brokenness and in your wholeness. No matter who you have been, who you are, or who you are becoming, we greet you today with love. And a special welcome to you if you're new to this church. If you're here in person, you can find a card in the back of the sanctuary. You can share contact information with us so you can receive our email newsletter. And if you're online up there on YouTube, you can find a similar form under newcomers on our website, oneuc.org. We're happy to have all of those friends, new, old, long-standing, who are watching us on YouTube this morning. Please do introduce yourselves in the comments and let us know where you're joining us from. We have a couple of brief announcements. At 12:30 today in the sanctuary, we will host a brief remembrance service for longtime member Margaret Roseboom. Her family is here today and sponsor our flowers this morning. Following that service, we will inter her ashes in the Memorial Garden and have refreshments afterwards in Daniel Hall. Please join us. And now I invite Deb Kretzinger to tell us about the auction.
Good morning. I'm Deb Kretzinger. If we're doing age things, I'll just say I'm an old boomer lady and wearing spring yellow today. I'm a member of the auction committee, and I just want to give everybody some reminders. The auction starts on the 20th, next Sunday, and it runs through May 3rd. And we're very excited this year. We have so much stuff on this auction, you guys. There's theater and museum tickets, there's dinners, and I think it's the first time we've actually had separate kid stuff, like baskets and stuff for the kids. There's still time to donate. We're taking donations till the 15th. So if you have anything, please do so. We're having a 50-50 raffle, and that's going to take place on the 4th when we are getting together with the pledge drive people to do a little celebration of the auction and its results. You can get the 50-50 tickets in Daniel Hall after the service. Our new minister is going to be here that day. I think he's the one pulling our winning ticket. And also, I just want you to know, it's not just a congregational auction, right? It's online. And so ask your friends, ask your family, give the link, give it to strangers in the street. Just anybody can bid on this auction, and we look forward to having a very successful one. So any questions? We will be in Daniel Hall after the service.
So we've had several changes in the service for today. I was scheduled to be the worship associate, and here I am. So there's that. But that's the only thing. We had planned to have Reverend Celeste LeBac here this morning to preach, but she is ill. So our dear Reverend Jonna Lou is here in her place. Celeste was also going to do the story for the ages, and Tim is here to do the story for the ages. Our dear Steve is ill, our music director, so we have Diane Broyles has gamely agreed, approached. And Jacob Bailey is going to do the offering for us. So we're it's all hands on deck here. So welcome to First Unitarian Church. The prelude will prepare us for worship. We'll now enter into worship by lighting our chalice, and I'm inviting Grant and Serenity Guthrie, our new members to the congregation, to light our chalice today. In lighting our chalice, we connect ourselves with many different people, the many Unitarian Universalists across space and time who also light or have lit the chalice, our spiritual ancestors with their dreams, good deeds, and even their failings. We light our chalice in Midtown Oklahoma City on land that was home to First Americans, including the Apache, Caddo, and Wichita, on land that was taken from the Muskogee and Seminole and other removed and relocated peoples. We light the chalice as a symbol of our sacred time together. The burning chalice represents the light of reason and science, the warmth of loving community, the cleansing heat of justice, and the flame of hope.
Whatever beat is moving through your bones, whatever holy disturbance is rising in your chest, whatever good word you've got for the good of the whole, clap it, snap it, and bring it out, call it out, take the beat, add to it, change it, make it yours. Gathered here in this sweet beauty, this power, bring all that you are and let it out. Let us not waste this time. Let us make a joyful noise, a more interesting sound, a fuller call, a greater yes. Say it with me, yes. Yes. Call out hello and amen, woohoo, and yes. Sing for justice, sway in hope, play with purpose. This time is precious. You are precious. And all of us, this chance is a gift. Each breath is a gift. Being all together is a gift. Let's celebrate, find a new rhythm, write a new song, make a new march for this longing, this dreaming, this discovery, for the urgent call of this day, for courageous love. Let it ring out. Come, let us worship together. I am indeed Reverend John Lou Johnstone, a baby boomer, with gray hair and a yellow and pink and red stole, using she, her pronouns. And I am glad to be here today, and I wasn't supposed to be. But that's kind of the way this day has rolled. And so I decided that the best thing to talk about today would be improvisation. Fortunately, I had an old sermon about it that I could brush off and reuse. So, perhaps you've been surprised by something this week. Perhaps you could share that surprise with someone around you as you greet them. Our time for greeting will end with the singing of our hymn, Gather the Spirit, number 347.
Yeah, go ahead. $347. go ahead and have a seat. So my name is Tim Atkins. I serve as your Director of Lifespan Religious Exploration. My pronouns are he, him. I'm wearing a blue and pink checkered shirt. And as a member of the high school class of 2000, I am the first year of millennial. Yes, Team Millennial. So we have a special time for all ages today. Who here is familiar with the concept of Mad Libs? Yes. All right, a lot of folks. So Mad Libs are a fun story-based game I loved as a kid. You start by choosing certain words in advance without knowing the story. Fill in the blanks and the silly story results. So I'm going to need 6 different words for our story today. So let's get 6 volunteers. Kids are especially encouraged to come up, and I'll ask each of you for a special word for our story. So I need 6 volunteers to come on up. Good job. First up. 1, 2. A couple of adults are welcome too. We got 2 more coming from up top. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm going to, come on down, it's fine. Come down, Elliot, it's okay. Or not, no problem. I need a choir volunteer to be our 6th. Someone, Kathy, come on up. You'll be our 6th volunteer real quick. Come on up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 words. All right, so to start off with, I need an animal.
I want to be a giraffe.
A giraffe?
Uh-huh.
Okay, a giraffe. All right. You can go sit back down if you want, okay? Or you can stay right there. That's fine. All right. For you, I need a silly, funny sound, like boing.
Me?
Silly sound. I gotta think about how to write that down. Blech. All right. All right, I'm gonna get you last, of course. Let's come over here. All right, I need a place, real or imaginary.
Dandy's World.
Andy's World? Dandy?
Yeah.
Okay, Dandy's World.
Yeah.
All right, then I need an object you can carry.
A phone.
A phone. Okay. And I need a type of weather. Any kind of weather.
Raining?
Raining. Okay. And I need from you a big feeling.
Amazement.
Amazement. Why don't you go ahead and have a seat while I get our story ready. Amazement. Thank you, volunteers. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay. So let's see how this story goes today. Our story is titled The Great Improvisation. It's written by me and our volunteers. So once upon a time, in a place called Dandy's World, a big celebration was about to begin, the Festival of Surprises. People came from near and far, dressed in bright colors, bringing instruments, games, and snacks. Everything was carefully planned. Everything except for one small detail. The grand performer, the one who everyone had come to see, was stuck in traffic. Very, very stuck in traffic. Panic rippled through the crowd. Who will entertain us now? Someone cried. The band didn't know what to do. The dancers were too nervous to go on without music. The snack table had already run out of cookies. Well, just then, a young traveler named Nova stepped forward, their heart full of amazement. I could try something, Nova said. I've got my lucky phone and my best friend, a giraffe named Pickle. Bleh, said Pickle. The festival director looked doubtful. Do you have a plan? Well, not exactly, said Nova, but I've got imagination. And with that, the music started. Nova strummed the phone like a guitar, and Pickle danced like a leaf in the wind. The crowd began to giggle, and then cheer, and then dance along. Nova turned the rhythm into a clapping game, and then a sing-along, then a guessing game. It wasn't what anyone expected, and that's what made it wonderful. But just when things were going well, disaster struck. Rainy weather rolled in. Tents flapped, balloons flew, a pie flew into someone's face. Nova paused for half a second and then turned the pie into a hat and declared fashion show time. Everyone joined in. Cloaks were made of napkins, sunglasses were made of spoons. One person wore an entire fruit salad. Pickle balanced 3 jelly beans on their nose. But then the microphone broke. Nova didn't panic. Instead, they cupped their hands and whispered loudly. The kids whispered too. The grown-ups started whispering jokes. The festival had surprises, had become the festival of whispers. By the time the sun began to set, the real performer, the grand performer, had finally arrived, flustered and apologetic. But when they saw the crowd dancing, laughing, whispering, and wearing hats made of pie, they just stood there in awe. I think you've already had the best show possible, they said. Nova blushed. We didn't plan it, we just rolled with it. And Pickle said, "Bleh," one more time. So friends, that story might have been a little silly, but the message behind it is deep. We often think that success comes from careful planning and perfect conditions. But the truth is, life is full of surprises. And sometimes those surprises aren't fun. Sometimes things break. People cancel. Storms roll in. New politicians are elected. Improvisation, the ability to adapt, to try something new, to be playful and open, can be a spiritual practice. It teaches us to trust ourselves, to trust each other, and to believe that something beautiful can still happen, even if the original plan falls apart. It reminds us that we are not alone. When we stay open and connected to the people around us, we can create joy together, even in the middle of a mess. That's a holy kind of magic. So the next time something unexpected happens, like me needing to do this story today, pause, take a breath, then like Nova, pick up your lucky phone and see what kind of new joy you can create. The end.
Okay. Every Sunday, we take an offering. Since 2002, all the cash and designated checks from that offering have gone directly to external nonprofit organizations doing good work, our Change for Change partners. The Change for Change partner this month is the Oklahoma City Food Hub, farm fresh from local producers. Their mission is to increase wholesale markets access and support small to mid-size Oklahoma farmers, to increase fresh food access, and to provide advocacy and education about systems-based solutions to local food procurement. The Oklahoma City Food Hub will use the money that we raise to buy standardized boxes that are required by their customers. The hub links Oklahoma farmers with wholesale markets such as schools, grocers, restaurants, tribes, and the regional food bank. The required standardized boxes can be a substantial cost for small and beginning farmers, many of whom are Black, Indigenous, or people of color. Change for Change funds will help buy these boxes to access those important markets. For those of you who are in the sanctuary today, in just a moment we'll be passing the offering plate. If you're watching us online, please make your gift by sending a check to First Unitarian, write Change for Change in the memo line, or make an online payment through our website, oneuc.org.
Now is the time in our service where we sing our children, youth, and teachers off to their religious exploration classes. Please join us in singing Go Now in Peace. The words are found in your order of service.
So, in the spirit of today's improvisation, I had prepared a kind of a reflection that would go with Celeste's theme of apocalypsis, and didn't seem to really fit with what we're doing today. So, instead, I'm going to share a reading with you that means a lot to me, and so I'll introduce it first. So for some of you may realize that there's a lot of holidays around this time of the year. Last night was the first night of Passover, and Jews around the world had a ritual meal and Passover Seder. Happens twice, unless you live in Jerusalem, you only do one. So anyway, it's a week-long holiday, and it happens that the Last Supper was a Seder. So for me, I really always love when the two holidays overlap in the two different calendars that get used with these two traditions. For Christians, today is Palm Sunday and the beginning of Holy Week. Spoiler alert, Holy Thursday, Good Friday coming up, and then next week is Easter Sunday. So this is an essential week for Christians as well. And Palm Sunday has become kind of interesting to me because of one of my favorite authors who I linked onto when I was in high school, Kurt Vonnegut. Kurt Vonnegut, I think, might have considered himself a Unitarian Universalist. Yes, he was a Unitarian. Reverend John Lou said it, so it must be true. So maybe it wasn't surprising that myself, as a young UU person, would have really his work would have really resonated with me. In fact, I directed his only play when I was a high school senior. It's called Happy Birthday, Wanda June, and when Vonnegut in the text, in the novel, in the piece Palm Sunday, in the full text, he grades all of his work, and he gives Happy Birthday, Wanda June a D. So I love it, but anyway. And then I had to write a senior author paper. All seniors at my high school were required to pick an author and read at least 3 works by that author and then come up with something about that person, and Kurt Vonnegut was my guy. So I have a lot of long-standing feelings about him, and he gave a Palm Sunday sermon at actually an Episcopal church in 1980, and this is an excerpt from that sermon. So he also, this anthology of his work is called Palm Sunday, and then this is the essay, Palm Sunday. It is again supper time. How many supper times does Jesus have left? 5, I believe. His male companions for this particular supper are themselves a mockery. One is Judas, who will betray him. The other is Lazarus, who has recently been dead for 4 days. Lazarus was so dead that he stunk, the Bible says. Lazarus is surely dazed and not much of a conversationalist, and not necessarily grateful either to be alive again. It must be a very mixed blessing to be brought back from the dead. If I had read a little further, we would have learned that there is a crowd outside, crazy to see Lazarus, not Jesus. Lazarus is the man of the hour, as far as the crowd is concerned. Trust a crowd to look at the wrong end of a miracle every time. There are two sisters of Lazarus there, Martha and Mary. So this is not Mary, mother of Jesus, another Mary. They are at least sympathetic and imaginatively helpful. Mary begins to massage and perfume the feet of Jesus Christ with an ointment made from the spikenard plant. Jesus has the bones of a man and is clothed in the flesh of a man, so it must feel awfully good to have somebody rub your feet. Would it be heretical of us to suppose that Jesus closes his eyes? This is too much for that envious hypocrite Judas, who says, by trying to be more Catholic than the Pope, "Hey, this is very unchristian of you. Instead of wasting that precious stuff on your feet, we should have sold it and given the money to poor people." To which Jesus replies in Aramaic, "Judas, don't worry about it. There will still be plenty of poor people left long after I'm gone." This is about what Mark Twain or Abraham Lincoln might have said under similar circumstances. If Jesus did in fact say that, it is a divine black joke, well suited to the occasion. It says everything about hypocrisy and nothing about the poor. It is a Christian joke, which allows Jesus to remain civil to Judas, but to chide him about his hypocrisy all the same. "Judas, don't worry about it. There will be plenty of poor people left long after I'm gone." Or shall I regarble it for you? "The poor you always have with you, but you do not always have me." Here endeth the reading. And the choir is going to sing, and I would be remiss if I did not also thank Lana Hansen for stepping up to conduct us as we sing a single voice.
Amen. For our meditation time this morning, I offer a poem by Linda Underwood, All This Talk of Saving Souls. All this talk of saving souls. Souls weren't made to save, like Sunday clothes that give out at the seams. They're made for wear. They come with lifetime guarantees. Don't save your soul. Pour it out like rain on cracked, parched earth. Give your soul away or pass it like a candle flame. Sing it out and laugh it up the wind. Souls were made for hearing, breaking hearts, for puzzling dreams, remembering August flowers, forgetting hurts. These men who talk of saving souls, they have the look of bullies who blow out candles before you sing happy birthday and want the world to be in alphabetical order. I will spend my soul playing it out like sticky string into the world so I can catch every last thing I touch. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. If you're not a fan of Monty Python, you may not know that that comes from one of their sketches and gets repeated a lot. It often comes up when something completely unexpected happens, like the guest speaker calls in sick. Somehow, though, this particular Monty Python sketch may be unusually apropos for our time. In the skit, the head inquisitor, who bursts into the room at the mention of the Spanish Inquisition, enumerates the secrets of the Spanish Inquisition: surprise, fear, ruthless efficiency, and fanatical devotion to the Pope. Oh, and their bright red uniforms. Now, keeping in mind those secrets of surprise, fear, ruthless efficiency in some ways, and fanatical devotion, perhaps not to the Pope, but to someone with a lot of power, I can see some parallels to current events. And one of the ways that improvisation helps us shape our world is finding unexpected connections, which can lead to humor. As any late night host can tell you, humor helps us get through the times filled with surprise, fear, and all the rest. So let's see how else improvisation may help us through these times. Improvisation equips us to respond to whatever comes. It gets us in practice for the unexpected. Improvisation and play have a lot in common. They're both open-ended. David Charles, theater chair at Rollins College, reminds us that no life or career can be perfectly planned. In improv, he said, every next choice is decided in the moment. That's the same in the workplace and in life. Choices decided in the moment, you might say. No, I need time to make choices. I have to weigh out the pros and cons, think through where we've been, how it fits with the goals we've laid out. You can't just improvise, or can you? Phil Porter and Cynthia Winton Henry, creators of Interplay, suggest that in learning how to behave ourselves as children, we suppressed many of our own feelings and needs. Behaving is not all bad, of course. It's good to be able to sit still, to listen, to cooperate, to take turns, that sort of thing. I'm glad that you all are doing that now. But too often, behaving has meant suppressing parts of ourselves. What's the saying? Well-behaved women rarely make history. And it's telling, because who do we speak about as being well-behaved? generally the people who have the least power and have to accommodate to others in order to survive and thrive. Children, servants, lessers. These people are described as well-behaved or judged as not being well-behaved. I've never heard a CEO described as well-behaved. According to Porter and Winton Henry, there is a way back to our own feelings and needs. We have to discover the knowledge that is in our bodies. We have to discover that by moving in our bodies, by being spontaneous, by playing, by being in the moment. And I don't mean to say there's no point to planning and goal setting. What I do mean to say is that our culture has overemphasized planning and goal setting at the expense of noticing what is going on right now and responding, even embracing the moment. And these are spiritual skills. Whether talking about Buddhist practices of living in the present moment or remembering Jesus' admonition to consider the lilies of the field, spiritual sources call us over and over again to dispense with worry. Playing with spirit demands attention to this moment, releasing the past and the future. So in this moment, right now, notice your body. Is there anything in your body that's calling for special attention? Maybe it's hurting or uncomfortable. Maybe there are some tight muscles. Maybe you notice some part of your body is warmer or cooler than the rest of you. Notice. Perhaps there's some action that part of your body would like you to do. Maybe breathe into it. Maybe to shift how you're sitting. Maybe even to stand and stretch. Or to put on or take off a jacket or sweater. Listen to your body. Do what it calls you to do. And notice your thoughts and feelings. Don't get lost in them. Just notice them. Hey, that's a thought. That's a feeling. Let them flow over and through you like water. Simply notice. You don't need to hold on to your thoughts and feelings. They're temporary. If you need them later, they'll come back. Trust your mind and heart to keep track. Breathe. Consider. Every experience in your past has prepared you for this moment now. You are equipped to handle this moment. What strength you notice in yourself in this moment. Because whatever strength you can notice may be what you need to face this moment, to face today, to face tomorrow. Center that in your heart and feel that strength pumping from your heart out into your body. Don't think about it so much as let it be there. Your awareness is increased. You're learning from yourself. So I want to share some rules of improvisation. The idea of rules of improvisation seems a bit counterintuitive. I just told you a few minutes ago that behaving can subvert our own awareness of what we need to do. However, we need a few rules, like the simple rules of a game like tag, some framework to help us to know how to engage most productively. If you Google rules of improv, you will come up with a remarkable number of sets of rules, but there seem to be a few things in common. The first rule, anybody know it? Yes, and that means that you have to accept what's already given in the improv. If someone is taken on the role of the captain of the ship, you can't say, no, you're a dinosaur. That's a different story. Enter the story that is already there. And that is what we have to do in life. Enter the story that is already there. And so the first part of yes and is yes, and the second part is and something. Affirm what you're given, yes, and then add something new. Oh my God, it's a dinosaur. Yes, it is not enough. A purple dinosaur and it's coming right at us. Much better. Yes, and is handy for everyday life. Yes, and allows us to make unexpected and even incongruous connections. When your first reaction to something is, no, not even, can you find anything in it to say yes to? When you're trying to convince someone else of your argument, can you find a piece of their rationale that you can accept? If you can, you may be on the road to common ground. When you find yourself digging your heels in, can you simply imagine what it would be like to relax and accept the story as it is? I used to have a habit, and I may still, to be honest, of using the word but a lot in my writing. What I was doing usually was trying to hold two or more sides of a question at the same time, a real dilemma. But what's more, in religion, I often find sacredness at the intersection of the paradox. And trying to change my buts into ands transformed my writing. It helped me to see that rarely was it really two sides. Rather, there were interconnections and intertwinings, more complex and more splendid than but will ever convey. Yes, and. Second rule, you look good if you make your partner look good. Cooperation unleashes creativity in a way that competition can't, especially in a situation where you're trying to work together. It's not about who gets credit for an idea. It's about building on it, playing with it, seeing what develops, where it goes. The better your playmate can play, the better you can play. Keep possibilities coming. You look good if you make your partner look good. Third rule, there are no mistakes. Now that's a hard one and a necessary one. In improv, as in life, when we're concerned about making mistakes, we decide, even unconsciously, not to take risks. Or we judge something as a mistake before we've even had a chance to see where it's actually going. In creative writing, there are two distinct processes, writing and editing. And you cannot write well if you can't edit well. But if you're in an editing mode when you're writing, it's very hard to fill a page. You start second guessing. No, that's not exactly the right word. That dialogue sounds stilted. I need one more example here. I like to picture those two different characters, the writer and the editor, and it's not the editor's turn until the writer has had a chance to get it all out. When we're in improv, when we're in play, the editor, the critic, the mistake finder has to keep their mouth shut because there are no mistakes. Now, admittedly, in real life, there are mistakes. There's also a lot more fear of mistakes than there are actual mistakes. And if we get too bound up in the mistake, we can't get past the mistake and learn from it so that we can move on. Fear of mistakes keeps us from taking legitimate risks. We're afraid we'll look foolish. We're afraid people will judge us. We're afraid someone will take advantage of us. Now, analyzing the validity of our fears could be a useful approach, or we can simply practice letting go of fear of mistakes in a place where risk is minimal. Fourth rule, always be listening. We all know the cliche of not listening because we're figuring out what to say next. But if we listen, we have to completely let go of what we would have said differently. Instead, we have to keep up with where we are. What's next? It has to build on what's already there, right? And I can't know how to build on what's next if I haven't been listening, observing, I might not have heard about the elf who was sitting on the toadstool or the hula hoop that was left near the door. And that might be exactly the character or prompt that's needed next. So, all right, I'm going to do it. We're going to do an improv. Now this will be short and simple, and I'm going to need some volunteers to help. And this is going to be an improv without words. So I need somebody to come up and start a repetitive motion, because we're going to build a machine. So I just need somebody, a volunteer, anyone. Ah, here comes somebody. Okay. Just start a repetitive motion that you can maintain for a little while. Okay. And now, I want somebody else to come up and build on her motion. All right. So you're going to do something that's going to in some way interact with that motion. Oh, nice, nice. Now I need somebody else to build on that motion. All right, let me get somebody else to build on that motion. Come on. All right. All right, one more. Let's get one more. Let's get one more in this machine. All right. So with clapping and with arm movings up and around, we have built a beautiful machine. Thank you, improv people. Let us bring the spirit of improvisation into our lives, especially when things surprise us. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Maybe, though, we can be ready. Our closing hymn is number 344, A Promise Through the Ages Rings.
we extinguish our chalice flame, but not the light of love and community which burns on in our hearts.
As much as possible, say yes and add something more. Make others look good. Don't worry so much about mistakes. Listen, observe, be in the moment, and play, and laugh. Not bad advice for improv, not bad advice for life. So may it be.